What we've heard today is a budget that is balanced only on a wing and a prayer. It relies on $5 billion in borrowing or magical revenue that comes from the federal government with no strings attached. We found a budget that ignored even the cuts that were proposed during normal operating times, didn't incorporate any of the agency efficiencies, any of the management steps, or operational changes that could be made to reduce the burden on taxpayers. No suggestion that came from the governor's office came to this General Assembly, nor was offered in this budget. We also see unprecedented levels of authority over Illinois taxpayer dollars being granted to one person, being ceded from the legislature to the governor through emergency rule, through appropriations that well exceed the amount of money that's been currently received, provide emergency rulemaking authority over several funds. The CURES program, the state CURES program, the local CURES program, the business interruption grants, the grants to local tourism and convention bureaus. These are hundreds of millions or billions of dollars that should be allocated and appropriated by this General Assembly with input from your community, with oversight from your committee, but instead could be spent in the blink of an eye with emergency rules that take immediate effect and can't be overturned without a supermajority vote at the next JCAR meeting. This is not how an appropriation process is supposed to work. What assurance do we have that as we delegate this dramatic authority to the governor and give mixed signals about what are the criteria for allocating it? Is it on a per capita basis? Is it on a basis related to the incidence of COVID in your community? Is it on a basis that's relative to how long a certain type of business had been closed, or what kind of revenue impact they had, or how many employees they had to lay off, or what the local unemployment rate is, or what the health of the local government is, or the support system that's available in their community? Any and all of those criteria are now outside of the control of the legislature, outside of the oversight of the House and the Senate. I remind you again, we have not had, many of us in our offices have not had a productive relationship with the governor's office over many aspects of the stay-at-home order or the Restore Illinois plan. We're told we're heard and not necessarily seeing the results of that. Do we really believe that allocating this unprecedented level of control to the executive branch is the only way or the best way that we can serve our constituents during this public health emergency? I suggest the opposite is the preferred path. That each of us representing the constituents we do from broad and diverse parts of the state come together in the people's house to have the messy debates that result in good public policy. Instead, we've taken an abbreviated session, ceded that authority to the governor, left unchecked, left unvoted upon many of the orders that have caused so much stress within our communities, left unanswered many of the questions that we seek answers to on behalf of our constituents every day. This budget does not take a step forward in accountability. It further gives a longer leash to an executive branch that has not earned it. Vote no.